Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This video is about how the Bible ends. It's about how we know that heaven is not going to come here to this earth. Well, first let's look at Romans 1 verse 20. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. So being understood from what has been made. The heavens, the top martial arts ever possible, what happened? Right? It's obvious. It is very clear. Right? The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you're the top martial arts ever possible, would you want people to play stupid about the significance of that? Obviously not. Now let's consider Isaiah 57, where it says, the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil, and the wicked remain on the earth. It says, to come here, you children of a sorceress, right? Those of you who aren't righteous, who aren't taken away, it's saying that they're being drawn to stay here on the earth and keep reproducing or to keep rebelling, what have you. So when we see in Isaiah 51, in verse 6, well, let's go to verse 4 and let's go from there. Listen to me, my people, hear me, my nation. Instruction will go out from me. My justice will become a light to the nations. A light for who? Let's go to verse 1. Listen to me, you who pursue righteousness and who seek the Lord. Look to the rock from which you were cut and to the quarry from which you were hewn. Is it talking about the Jews? No. I'm going to read it again here. Listen to me, you who pursue righteousness. Who? You who pursue righteousness. So it agrees with Galatians 3:28, right? There's no Jew or Gentile, just the righteous and the unrighteous. Listen to me, you who pursue righteousness and who seek the Lord. Look to the rock from which you were cut and to the quarry from which you were hewn. Look to Abraham, your father, and to Sarah, who gave you birth. When I called him, he was only one man, and I blessed him and made him many. Did God snap his fingers and make Abraham a zillion different people? No, so it's speaking figuratively. And so we can also assume that Abraham, his name means Abraham because he's the offspring, the spiritual offspring of Nimrod. The spirit versus the flesh. We see, as Christ as a character in the story says in the New Testament, that the spirit is everything, the flesh counts for nothing. The Lord will surely comfort Zion and will look with compassion on all her ruins. He will make her deserts like Eden, her wastelands like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be formed in her, or found in her, rather. Thanksgiving and the sound of singing. Now, if you're not a martial artist, you might make the mistake of thinking that it's a figurative, a literal place. Okay? It was a slip on words. You know, I'm slipping on my words a little bit, but I'm getting it right here. If you are not a martial artist, you might make the mistake of thinking it's talking about it in terms of a literal place. What it's saying is that the people whose spirit collectively make Zion, right? Like the body of Christ. Christ the head, me the head, and the body. And God is God. It's saying that that collection will no longer be persecuted, that you'll actually start feeling alive, right? That's why in Proverbs it says, and being alive, mind you, that's why in Proverbs it says that it is better to be lowly in spirit with the oppressed than to share plunder with the proud, than to walk with the rich, what have you. So even though they're in the Spirit of God, in a sense, you know, God is never lowly, God is great, but in a sense they're lowly in spirit, right? They're depressed, they're feeling, you know, they're not making a spirited push, they're feeling kind of sad. And it goes on to say, listen to me, my people, hear me, my nation. Instruction will go out from me. My justice will become a light to the nations. My justice, so they're the people who pursue righteousness and the justice of God, which is universal justice. Right? Going back to Romans 1, verse 20. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, you know, his righteousness, his justice, etc., have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. That means Jew or Gentile, Noah, what have you, from the beginning. So it's universal. You don't need Moses to tell you, Jesus to tell you, or someone to have a dream. It's seen clearly. It's plain. It's obvious. My righteousness draws near speedily. My salvation is on the way. And my arm will bring justice to the nations. What will bring justice? The arm of the Lord, the striking arm, the hand of God, the arm of God. The islands will look to me and wait and hope for my arm, for specifically that martial art potency, that martial art power. When we think of islands, right, there's different applications. There's the islands, around Greece. There's the islands around, Europe and the Middle East. There's the islands like, Fiji, Haiti, Jamaica, the Philippines, and so on and so forth. A lot of these women there are very attractive, right? So this has implications on romantic justice, who is supposed to wait for who and supposed to prefer who. Lift up your eyes to the heavens. Look at the earth beneath. The heavens will vanish like smoke. The earth will wear out like a garment, and its inhabitants die like flies. But my salvation will last forever. My righteousness will never fail. So what will happen? The heavens will vanish like smoke. The word being used here is smoke. There's patterns of teaching, like it says in Paul's letters. There's patterns of nature, what have you. The heavens will vanish like smoke. We'll get to that shortly, like smoke. The earth will wear out like a garment, right? Put on the garments of the Lord, right? The fine linen that stands for the righteous acts of the saints. Okay? The earth will wear out like a garment, and its inhabitants die like flies. But my salvation will last forever. My righteousness will never fail. Revelation 14, verse 9. We're going to do verses 9 through 12. A third angel followed them and said in a loud voice, if anyone worships the beast and its image and receives this mark on their forehead or on their hand. Again, the hand. Remember the arm? The hand. So if anyone accepts the mark on their thinking, on their reproduction, right? It has implications on who looks like who, their head shape and so on, including their forehead. Their thinking is what it's getting at. They're sealed with being a rebel, right? Instead of the mark of God, it's the mark of rebelling against God and his divine martial art order. If anyone worships the beast and its image and receives its mark on their forehead or on their hand, they too will drink the wine of God's fury, which has been poured full strength into the cup of his wrath. Right? They'll drink it. They'll take it into their insides, into their souls. They're spiritually consuming it. Like the fruit in the Garden of Eden from the snake. It's like poison wine. It's poison. Alcohol poisoning. They too will be tormented with the burning sulfur. Burning sulfur in Isaiah 34 has been described as chaos and desolation. They too will be tormented with chaos and desolation. Spiritual chaos, spiritual desolation. In the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb. Okay, notice I'm here now. And I'll always be watching them cook in hell. And the smoke, what is the word? The smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. There will be no rest day or night for those who worship the beast and its image, or for anyone who accepts the mark of its name. The word name is the word mean scrambled. What does it mean? Their name in a nutshell is cheating Christ out of his right to lead. Cheating me out of my right to lead. We know that because in Revelation it says outside the gates are the cowardly, those who love and practice magic arts, those who love and practice falsehood, the liars, etc. Okay, so these are sinners, and what they have in common is they're cheating me out of my right to lead. That's the essence, because they obey God through me, then they're not going to be doing these sinful things. This calls for patient endurance on the part of the people of God. So we see all these rich people enjoying themselves, acting like they're superior, they're fancy churches. Are they right with God? No. And you know it like this. But you also know the poor, unless they're obeying God through me, aren't right with God. So let's go back to Isaiah 51, verse 6. And then we'll go to Revelation 14 again, to the part about the smoke, which is verse 11. So Isaiah 51, verse 6. Lift up your eyes to the heavens, look at the earth beneath. The heavens will vanish like smoke. The earth will wear out like a garment, and its inhabitants die like flies. But my salvation will last forever. My righteousness will never fail. The principles, the spirit, right? Revelation 14, verse 11. And the smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. There will be no rest day or night for those who worship the beast and his image, or for anyone who receives the mark of his name. We see in the Bible it talks about a cloud of smoke. okay, from the destruction of an army, from the destruction of a people. So the smoke of their torment is rising forever and ever where? From this earth, which is the top level of hell, spiritually speaking. Again, spiritually and figuratively speaking. Okay, and also when their flesh dies and their souls go to hell, to the actual hell. The smoke from there and the top layer of hell, which is this earth, right? Satan said to be the little g god of this world, will rise forever and ever. In Isaiah, it says there's a new heaven and new earth for the righteous, somewhere else. And the word being used is smoke, right? Lift up your eyes to the heavens, look at the earth beneath. The heavens will vanish like smoke. Why? Because of the smoke from their torment. Now, where is it? It's on earth. And so as the message from the heavens becomes smoke, because their brains are being tormented, their souls are being tormented with no way back. Somewhere else, where the souls of the righteous, who Isaiah and Isaiah 57 says are taken away to be spared from evil, there's a new heaven and a new earth. The essence of what the earth is meant to be for the righteous, right? When they messed it up in the Garden of Eden, was meant to be something else. Okay, so the Garden of Eden, if you will, the new earth, will be somewhere else. And there will be a new heaven, a new realm, where everything will be perfected for the righteous, those who obey God through me. No matter how nice they seem, if they're not obeying God through me, they can go to hell. If their argument is that they don't want to carry their cross, well, the Bible makes it clear. Whoever doesn't pick up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Even right now, when I'm making this video, I'm being filmed. I have back aches because whenever I make a video like this, they make sure to cause me to have pain, because they're trying to send me a message that they don't want me to tell the truth. Okay? And they're going to cook to the extreme. And everyone, look at your watches real quickly. Look at the watch, pause, look at a clock somewhere. Every day 189,000 people die and they go to hell. Tick tock. The angel of death pursues them. And they start whimpering. They say, well, too bad. To hell you go. Someone says, please, but no excuses. You cheated the top martial arts ever possible because you thought God and Christ were playing with you. So you're going to hell.